I've heard such good things about all three of these books.
I also don't want it to end. I don't want it to end.
Like, I actually don't even know what to tell you.
I'm actually shocked.
Jamie? Can you come pick my book for me, please? Hi guys, welcome to today's YouTube video. Today we are filming a reading vlog and I'm so excited to be filming this because I've wanted to film a reading vlog for literally the longest time. Like, oh my god, I'm so excited. There's building works outside, so sorry if you can hear that. That's really annoying. Today is our physical TBR. Quite a few books last month, so we need to start getting through them. We need to start making a dent in the pile. I haven't got like an excessive amount of books in my physical TBR. Like, I know some people literally have like hundreds and hundreds of books on the TBR. I have like 30ish. So it's really not a lot, but I would like to get it down because in my eyes that's a lot, you know. So we're going to be focusing on our physical TBR and we're going to be using my TBR prompt jar to pick our reads for the week. So what I'm going to do is, instead of doing it all at once, I'm going to kind of pick a prompt, then pick a book, read the book, then come back, pick another prompt, read the book, etc, etc. That's what we're going to be doing today. I have no idea what prompts are in my prompt jar because I literally made that months ago. Like literally months ago, like 4 or 5 months ago. So I have no idea what is in there. It's gonna be interesting to see what we get. I'm not gonna add any new prompts this week. Maybe after this I will. But I thought because since I don't really remember what kind of prompts I put in there, I feel like I've got like a general idea, like it's like a blue cover, a purple cover, like a colour cover, or like really generic, like oh, pick up a fantasy romance or something like that. But I feel like there are some more specific ones too, so we shall see. Let's get this video started and let's pick a prompt for our first book. Okay, so we got a prompt jar. Okay, let's see what we get. This is so hard being a mood reader because I don't know what I'm in the mood for, but I guess it helps because I don't know what I'm in the mood for. Double-edged sword. Right, I'm going to try to show you guys first, but it might be upside down, so no idea, but I'm just going to do it all the way, so at some point you should see it. New author. Okay, so it's basically an author that I've not read any books by them before. Now I'm overwhelmed by choice. Oh god, that's quite a lot. 7 Year Slip, The Nightingale. I'm not ready to read The Nightingale. Dawn of Onyx, The Wedding People, Page Tune. I've read Peyton Gray and Carol Bastone, Autumn Woods, Adeline Grace, Lynette Noni. Yeah, we have a lot of choice. These are our 3 options. So we've got Nightshade by Autumn Woods. This is like dark academia, I think. In my brain it's like fantasy, but it's definitely not fantasy. The first opening line on the back is, he'd burn down the world for her, but she plans to burn his to the ground. Ophelia Winters wants revenge. I'm a sucker for a woman wanting revenge. This is a very strong contender, I can't lie. It's based in like a university in Scotland. Both our main characters come from rival families, I believe, like very powerful rival families. This could not be true. I literally no idea, like obviously not read it. But this one is a strong contender. Then we've got The Wedding People. I'm seeing nothing but good things about this book. I believe in this one our main female character goes to a wedding and gets to know everyone at the wedding that's happening, and I believe this happens in Rhode Island. I believe this is very character driven, but I've seen nothing good but good things about this book. So many 5 stars, so many people loving it. Yeah, Rhode Island. So I do want to read this at some point, preferably before summer's over. So we have this option as well. I feel like I'm leaning more towards Nightshade as of yet. I got The 7 Year Slip, which I've heard such good things about this book as well. I've heard such good things about all 3 of these books. So this has magical realism, and I believe our FMC takes over her grandma's apartment, and then when she's in the apartment she's like 7 or 8 years in the past, but when she leaves the apartment it's like the present day again. No idea. Literally no idea, but I am really wanting to read this again before summer's over. But yeah, that's all I know about this book, so that is also a strong contender. But I feel like I'm leaning more towards Nightshade. This one's just kind of calling my name a little bit. I've heard nothing but good things about this book, so yeah, I'm kind of fancying Nightshade. So I think our first book is going to be Nightshade. We might get to these later on in the week depending on the prompts we get given, but we're starting off with Nightshade as our first book, and I'm very excited about this. that's why she is at the university. Okay, so we have the prologue, which is a bit, I don't really know, well, I don't really know what it means. I'm thinking maybe now that I've read the first chapter, I have an inkling who it would be about, maybe, I'm not sure. But we've kind of figured out why she is at the university, what kind of brought her to be there. She was never meant to go to this university, and now she's at this university, and we kind of figure out why, and obviously it has to do with her plot for revenge and as to why she's there. And she's also met our MMC, I believe. Yeah, she's also met her MMC, which was actually, it had me kind of giggling a little bit. We have to like meet, and we've kind of like got a reason as to why she's there, which makes sense. I've heard that this book has quite a lot of like tropes. It's kind of like a mixed match of genres, which I'm kind of seeing, because this is meant to be like dark gothic academia, which I can definitely see in the vibes, but I'm also like laughing. I'm really intrigued by this book. I have no idea where it's gonna get. So I literally just sat down to read tonight. I am 17% of the way through. I have kind of switched my Kindle because it's just comfier reading on my Kindle, isn't it? I would say I'm enjoying it, but I'm also like, the story's not fully grasped me yet. Like, I need it to suck me in a little bit more. I feel like I'm not fully like sucked into the story, if that makes sense. The author's still like building the world and the university and like who's who and who does what and how it all kind of builds together. And I'm just not fully invested as of yet. That could all change. So we've had a bit of back and forth with Alex and Ophelia. She suspects that his parents had some involvement in her parents' murder. She's kind of like got a vendetta against him essentially. And we've just had a POV from Alex. I don't think he's fully aware of this vendetta or like anything to do with it. I don't think he really knows what's going on, but he's kind of at the stance like, oh well, we hit it off in the car and now she hates me kind of thing. And he's like, well, I'm gonna hate her then. But I suspect he doesn't actually hate her. Ophelia is just kind of, she's being stalked and she's just kind of like starting to realise that. So that's kind of where we are in the story. I'm only 17% of the way through, so I'm really not that far at all. It says all that on the back as well, like that is not spoilers, like that is literally all on the back of the book. Don't worry, it's not spoilers. Hopefully I get a bit more sucked into the story, because at the moment I just don't feel connected to it at all. I don't know if there's like just too much going on in my brain, but at the moment I'm just not feeling connected. But we shall see, and I'm hoping that changes. I'm 48% of the way through Nightshade. I don't know how I feel about this book. It's weird because I'm enjoying it. I like the romance and I like the chemistry between the two main characters. I feel like the plot is just all over the place. I feel like I don't really know what's going on. Like, each chapter I feel like it goes on to something random. I'm just a bit confused. I don't really know what's going on. So I don't even know what to tell you what's going on. Like, I actually don't even know what to tell you. We've leaned into more of the murder mystery kind of aspects of the book, and she's just trying to find out, she's just trying to like find people to like help her with her parents and like find out what happened, and that's obviously got that mystery element. And then she's just getting on like random dates with people. I don't know, I feel like it doesn't make sense to me, like what is going on. I feel like there's no, I don't know. Yeah, I'm really not sure. I'm gonna sit and read a bit more. On page 179. Would like to get this finished today. And there's also like, there is funny moments. I've been laughing throughout this book. I don't know, it's weird. So I'm 85% of the way through now. I'm probably going to sit here and finish it. I've only got a couple of chapters left. I'm on chapter 24 and there's 29 chapters. So I've got 5 chapters left. I feel like the romance aspect has definitely picked up, which I'm enjoying a lot more. And I feel like it's all coming together a bit more. So it's all starting to make more sense, which I'm happy about because I feel like I was just so confused at the start. I went for my walk and I listened to quite a bit of it on the audiobook. I am really enjoying the audiobook. It's duet narration. I love that more audiobooks are duet narration now because I feel like it just brings it to life a bit more rather than like one character or one voice narrating for all the voices in the book. We have kind of strayed away from like the other characters and it's very focused on our main couple at the moment. But I feel like it kind of makes sense as to what's happening, which I like. I feel like everything is starting to unravel a bit and everything's kind of coming to light and everyone's sort of like piecing the pieces of the puzzle together and kind of making sense of what's going on. I'm excited to see where this goes and what happens at the end. I'm assuming it's going to be a cliffhanger because this is going to be a duology. So I am really excited to see how it ends and where it goes because I literally have no idea. Everything's unraveling now. What? What? I'm so confused. How is this meant to be a duology? What the hell? What the hell? Surely not. Okay, now I see why it's a duology. I need to think about my thoughts. Hey guys, so annoyingly I have just filmed this. I went over all my final thoughts and feelings about Nightshade and we picked our next book, started the next book, wasn't filming any of it, which is actually really annoying, so I do apologise. But hey, I am just a girl. I am just a girl. Let's talk about Nightshade. As you know, I was a bit conflicted about this book. I enjoyed the romance element and the chemistry between our two main characters. I like that they had their obstacles to overcome and the obstacles made sense to the characters and the plot. But I felt like the plot itself was just a bit all over the place. I felt like it was a bit rushed in part, and then there was random scenes thrown in here and there, and I don't know. I guess I just didn't really feel that connected to the story, which is fine. It was still a very fun, easy, bingeable read, but then the end felt a bit underwhelming, and that there were just a few random things thrown in for like I guess to make it a duology for it to continue. In my eyes, this could have easily been a standalone, but I wouldn't not recommend this book to people. I feel like it is a good read. It is bingeable. It's easy to read. I really like the characters, and there's a sense of found family as well, which I think will only strengthen in the next book. I just didn't have that connection to the plot. I guess in my mind there was like stuff missing or stuff that could have been added in. I landed on a 3.5 for this. Again, still a good read. I just felt like it was missing stuff. I feel like for me it had the potential to be like a 5 star and it just wasn't. I don't know if like the mix match of genres. This to me was going to be a serious dark academia book. Yeah, it had like rom-com elements and I was laughing, which not a bad thing. I think my mind was confused. I think my mind was confused and it couldn't process and handle everything. But yeah, we landed on a 3.5 for that. Still a good read, would still recommend. Maybe I'd recommend for more like spooky time, like October time, because it does have spooky elements. It does have that spooky dark academia elements. This is what I mean. Like, I'm just so conflicted. Like, I feel like I'm just contradicting myself. Yeah. 3.5. Then I've literally already put everything away. We used our TBR jar again to pick our next read and we got yellow cover and the options were the 7-year slip and This Woven Kingdom. Those were the only ones I had with the yellow cover. I had a few like Promise Me Sunshine, but that was more orange. And then Page 2, but that ended up being more pink. Oh, there was the Nightingale, but I am just not ready to read the Nightingale. Like, I'm not mentally prepared. I think that's going to be a winter read.
We did end up picking The 7-Year Slip, which I am so excited about. I've been wanting to read this so bad, and I did want to read it before summer was over. So I'm glad we ended up with a prompt where I could pick this. I was debating reading a fantasy, but This Woven Kingdom is a series, and that kind of put me off. I feel like I'm in the middle of so many series. Like this year, I've just read the first book in the series or the second book in the series, and then like obviously we have to wait for the next book, or they were indie published books, and now they've been picked up for traditional publishing, which means we have to wait longer. And I'm just in the middle of a lot of series, and the thought of starting a new series is kind of overwhelming. So The 7-Year Slip is perfect. I have read the first couple of chapters because again I thought I was filming and I wasn't. First impressions, I really like female main character Clementine. I really like the name Clementine as well. Yeah, it really scratches an itch in my brain. I really like that name. And basically her aunt has passed away and left her apartment, and when she was younger she would be telling her about this magical apartment, and obviously she was like 7 or 8, so she would believe all these stories about the apartment being magical, this, that, and the other, but she is struggling with grief and the passing of her aunt. So she's kind of, I guess, stopped believing in the magic of it all. I have a feeling that's all going to change. I'm really excited to see how it all comes together, how it all works, I guess. So I'm really excited for that. Hello, I'm having to use my microphone because they're doing building works outside. They're redoing the cladding on our apartment building. So it is loud, like really loud. They've not done any work basically all summer, and now they've started as soon as I decided to start filming for YouTube. But The 7-Year Slip, we are now just under 100 pages in, I believe. Yeah, I'm on page 97. I am really loving this. It really does feel magical. So we've got to know our FMC a bit more, Clementine. She is a publicist. There's loads of elements for like book lovers and like just talking about books and loving books. And she has a degree in art, so she's very like creative and artsy. And I just really like her. I feel like she's definitely suffering in her grief at the moment because her aunt passed away, and her aunt was like her best friend, it seems. And we're kind of getting a few flashbacks of when she was with her aunt and like things that happened in the past that kind of all relate to what is happening now in terms of like the apartment being magical and how it works and everything. And I feel like that's really interesting as well, to get like almost the point of view of the aunt as well as Clementine's, because we're almost seeing it through different eyes, even though it's all through Clementine's eyes, if that makes sense. And we have met our MMC. Iwan, I think is how it's pronounced. It's Iwan. So I think it's Iwan. Iwan? I'm not sure, but I've been saying Iwan. And he is staying at her aunt's apartment, but 7 years in the past. So I'm not entirely sure how it works. Obviously, it's magical realism. It doesn't really need to make sense. But she enters the apartment and it's 7 years in the past. I'm yet to discover whether if she leaves, she's like 7 years in the future or how it works. But we have seen this happen before, her aunt and her aunt's experiences. So I do really like that we're getting like a full picture really early on. But I really like our MMC. He is just exactly what Clementine needs in this moment. Her aunt said that the apartment always does this when the person living in the apartment is at a crossroads. I guess she is kind of at a crossroads because she's suffering with her grief. She cancelled her holiday that she usually goes on with her aunt every year. She might be getting a promotion at work. She's got all these things going on. I guess she feels a bit lost in herself because her aunt's not there anymore, and just like how to navigate life after the death of a loved one. And it almost feels like he is bringing her back to life, which is really sweet to see. But I'm really enjoying this so far. Like, really enjoying it. There's a quote in here and it says chase the moon, and I really like that. Chase the moon, like nothing's impossible. Like I really love that, and that is something her aunt used to say to her. And I am really just enjoying just watching kind of like come back to life and rediscover parts of herself where she's not like stuck at the office working. She is the kind of worker that will stay at the office till 10 p.m. She's not really doing anything on the weekends. She's just watching like reruns of her favorite shows. So it is really nice to see her come back to life and just sort of like enjoy life again. So I'm just excited to keep reading. I am really enjoying this book. It's literally making me happy. Like I feel like I can't stop smiling thinking about this book. And he calls her Lemon, and I'm just obsessed because like Clementine, Lemon, oh, literally just so obsessed. So I'm like 80 something more pages in, and I'm just loving this so much. It's giving me 5-star energy. 5-star energy. We've had a bit more of the back and forth. We have kind of like a dual timeline, so some of it's set in the present and some of it's set 7 years ago in the apartment, and it's kind of like really dependent on the apartment. Like Clementine doesn't know whether she's going to go back into the apartment it's going to be 7 years ago or if it's just going to be the present day again. Like she literally has no idea. It's completely up to the apartment. I've literally highlighted so many quotes. Like I literally can't stop highlighting. Just so happy to be reading this book. Like it's literally making me giddy like a child. Like I'm loving it so much. And to know Ewan a lot more, and we've kind of met him in the present as well. And I'm just like, oh my god, like I'm literally obsessed. Like so obsessed. Like I have no idea where this is gonna go, how it's gonna work out. I like how the things that happened 7 years ago, which are obviously quite recent for Clementine, are relevant to what's happening in the present and how it like links. Oh, I'm just obsessed. I'm so obsessed. But we're gonna sit and read a bit more because I'm literally just so excited to be reading. Ooh. But I also don't want it to end. I don't want it to end. Ooh. Guys, I'm literally loving the 7 year slip so much. Like I'm actually obsessed. I'm nearly finished. Page 288 out of like 336, I think. So like literally just got like that much left. Oh my god, I'm obsessed. I love these characters. I love the whole dynamic. I love having to like piece it all together and how some characters know some stuff and some characters know other stuff and it's all linked and it all goes. Oh, I'm just obsessed. I'm not even finished and I know this is going to be 5-star. I love it so much. Like I genuinely don't want it to end, but I am going to sit here and finish it. Okay, so I finished the 7 year slip and oh my god, was it good? It was so good. It's one of the cutest romance books I think I've ever read. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. We have so many themes that are present throughout with our female main character. She's going through grief. Her aunt passed away, who she was very close with. Leaves her this magical apartment with all these magical stories that she heard as a child. And when she's living in that apartment, she's starting to kind of figure who she is again, like what she wants to do with her life, sort of figuring out who she is as a person, as an adult. Now, especially now that her aunt's passed away, I feel like it just kind of brought everything to light for her. I really did like our FMC Clementine or Lemon. I love that name as well. Clementine is just beautiful. And obviously, she's staying in this magical apartment where magical things start happening. And at one point, she walks through the door and she's 7 years in the past, and there's a stranger in her apartment. And that's kind of where the story starts. The way this story was told was done so well, how everything links together, how everything, like past, present, links, all the characters sort of link. Everything just goes so well together. And even towards the end, genuinely tearing up. It was so good. I think this has been one of my favorite reads all year, and I can't believe I put it off for so long. What was I thinking? What was it? Why did no one tell me to read this sooner? Hello? Like, oh my god. So obviously this was 5 stars. Chef's kiss, no notes. So good. Please go read this if you haven't already, especially during summer as well. This was the perfect time to read this, I think. Story kind of happens over summer and then kind of all wraps up in August, which we are in now. So it just felt literally the perfect time to read it. So if you're contemplating reading this, now is the perfect time. But now we're going to pick our next read with the TBR jar. I don't know what I'm in the mood for. I'm thinking maybe a fantasy romance. If I had to pick without using the TBR jar, I'm kind of looking at the Prison Healer or Lady of Darkness, which are both fantasy romance and both start a series. I think I said earlier that I didn't want to pick The Woven Kingdom because I didn't want to start a series, but those are the ones that are kind of calling to me. Hey, it depends what the TBR jar wants. Ooh. So I picked that one because it fell out. No, let's mix them up properly. I also checked that I was recording 3 times because last time I had to film it twice. Okay, that one fell out. Let's do that one. Start a series. What did I just say? So we've got the Prison Healer or Lady of Darkness is what I was thinking. Are there any more in here that are start of a series? Ember in the Ashes, but I'm kind of feeling that more for winter time. I Infinite Fates, that's not a series. Neverthorn, that might be a series, I'm not sure. Belladonna's a series. Unloved, that's the second in the series. Those two aren't. Volcano Academy, I think that's a series. She is chunky. God of Malice, that's a series. Also, The Swerving Kingdom. My TBR is kind of all spread out across my bookcase, and then there's a few more on my bookshelf, but they're more fantasy reads, so I'm fine with them staying there for the time being. I think it's between The Prison Healer or Lady of Darkness. Kiva married a survivor after 10 years of working as a healer in the notorious death prison Zalindov. Whenever it comes to fantasy reads, I literally can't pronounce half the words. She has only one goal, stay alive, but then the rebel queen arrives at the prison on death's door and Kiva receives a message, don't let her die, we are coming. When the queen is sentenced to a series of impossible elemental challenges, Kiva volunteers to take her place. If she succeeds, both she and the queen will be granted their freedom, but no one has ever survived. Okay, so this is giving me like Trials vibes. And then Lady of Darkness. Cage, owned by a ruthless assassin lord, Scarlet Monroe and her two sisters are the most feared trio on the continent. They are wild and unpredictable until a tragic night finds Scarlet locked away in a noble's household until she's ready to fall in line. Finally, Scarlet is presented with a job. If she completes her assignment, her payment will be something she has coveted for 10 years, revenge against the Fae Fire Prince who brutally killed her mother 10 years ago. But when children begin disappearing from her home, all her plans are put on hold as she races to save them. Okay, also intriguing. I really don't know which one to pick. Shall we read the first line of each book? So with Prison Healer, death arrived at twilight. You are sure he will be here tonight? A cool female voice asked, bored from where its bearer perched on a low garden wall. Can't lie, the Prison Healer intrigues me more than the first line of Lady of Darkness. Oh, I really don't know. I might get Jamie to come in and pick. Jamie? Yeah? Can you come pick my book for me, please? So we've got the Prison Healer and Lady of Darkness.
I choose the Prison Healer.
And that's my choice sorted. Thank you. Okay, so that's that decision. We're going with the Prison Healer. Thank you to Jamie for picking my next book. I'm excited about this. One of my best friends read this whilst we were on holiday and she gave it 5 stars. So I'm excited. I've also seen quite a few people rate this highly. I'm pretty sure it's a bit of an underhyped series. But let's give it a go and see what it's like. Okay, so I'm 9 chapters in, 82 pages in. So far, not much has happened. We've just kind of seen like the day-to-day of our FMC, Kiva Meriden, who is the prison healer. Self-explanatory, really. And just kind of seeing her day-to-day. So we've had new inmates come into the prison and she's had to treat them and kind of keep them alive, but there's also quite a few inmates that are dying, and it's kind of like witnessing all that through her eyes. So far not a lot has happened at all, but like it says on the back, the rebel queen arrives at the prison and she's in real bad shape. We've just got to that bit. She arrives, she's in real bad shape, she's kind of like freaking out that she's there, and people are speculating whether she is the rebel queen or maybe it's a mistaken identity. Who knows? We don't know that yet. And they want to put her into trials to see if she can master it. It's like an elemental trial, so air, fire, water and earth. It's to like prove their innocence. So if she completes all 4 trials and survives, that means she's innocent. I think that's how it works. We've also been introduced to a male character, but he's not giving me love interest vibes. I also don't know if this is a romantasy or if it is just high fantasy. I'm really not sure, but obviously we'll find out soon. I'm very intrigued, but there's also not much happened at the same time, so I'm not fully sucked in, but I'm intrigued. I'm curious to see where this is going to go, how it's all going to roll out, how the rebellion's going to work inside the prison. Yeah,
So far, so good. So I'm 260 pages in, got like that much left, so not a lot. We've had like more trials and I'm definitely getting like more sucked into the story, which I'm glad about because I feel like at the beginning it was kind of slow, like the build up to everything. So I'm glad it's picking up. It's definitely got more high stakes, not that it wasn't in the beginning, but I feel like we're really starting to see the stakes become higher and higher, and something's just happened at the end of the last chapter, which I'm not happy about. Like, I really hope they're able to solve this thing because I actually just can't bear it if what could happen happens. I know I'm being very cryptic, but obviously I just don't want to spoil anything. I'm finding it quite hard to give updates without spoiling it because I feel like the things happening in this book are so specific to this book. Obviously it's happening in a prison, which is not a usual setting for a fantasy book. Still not sure whether it's fantasy or high fantasy. I've just been sat outside sunbathing because it's so hot today, which has been really nice to just sit and read, but I need to make myself some food and I think I'm going to listen to a bit more an audiobook. I mean, I think we can maybe finish it today. I have got Camilla coming later though, so I'm planning on vlogging and I'm so excited about it. Will be up next week, but I will come back with some updates when I have them.
Okay, so we finished The Prison Healer. I can't even remember the last time I filmed reading this book, but the ending, oh my god. I'm actually shook. I was sitting at like a 3.5, maybe a 4, and then I was literally saying before I got to the end that depending on the ending it could be a 4. Tell me why this is basically 5 stars. I didn't see any of it coming. I was actually so shocked. I'm so surprised that more people aren't talking about this book. I can't believe it, to be honest. Like, I'm actually in shock. If you've not read this, please do. It is so good. I think I'm going to have to move on to the second book immediately because the way this book ended, oh my god, actually so good. It was Sarah J Maas level of like everything coming together, everything having meanings. Like, I literally want to go back and reread and see what I missed because there's definitely stuff that I didn't pick up on, definitely stuff I missed. I think I'm going to give this 5 stars. Crazy turn of events, to be honest. I was not expecting this to be 5 star. And now I'm going to force Camilla to read it. She's here. Come say hi. Hi, vlog. I will be reading this very soon. I'm going to force her. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching this week's video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.